Show 'em what you got. Excellent. Two fight as one. You find a beast lurking in the shadows of the valley. It glares at you. Seems you're not getting out of this without a fight. And fight. Two fight as one. Your stance keeps slipping. Gladio hisses at Levia as soon as the final blow's been struck. Sorry, Levia shoots back and resumes scanning the area for monsters. You find a beast huddled. Nevertheless, it is not happy to have an intruder in its home and attacks. The party readies for battle. Show 'em what you got. magnificent. You come across an open-air stall. A sign reads, "Huge sale." As you peer into the stall, the merchant says they're having a fire sale. Everything must go. The merchant says it's time to move on and begins closing up his stall. You cannot shop here anymore. You find a beast and immediately raise your sword to it. Upon further inspection, it looks like it's dead, Lavia says flatly. Gladio, sensing an imminent threat, tells everyone to be the clanking of heavy chains. The party grips their own weapons ever tighter, fighting their own looming sense of fear. maiden launches one. Lack and Laddie break out into a... He binds the beast in chains, hoists it up with one hand, and carries it back toward... You never did get to ask about the maiden's relic in the end. You follow them back to Hero's Dominion in hopes of rectifying that oversight. Hero's Dominion. A place so renowned, stories of it reached you. Levia informs you that the Dominion, there are even more than usual, he says, thanks to the tournament that's due to begin soon. The party makes their way to the arena, eager to return the captured monster to its cage. Gladio drops the monster in front of the reception desk with a wet, meaty thud. I felled it, Levia. I expected nothing less. The man behind it quickly becomes clear, however, that this Levia chafes, but at least the beast has been returned. The party makes its way back out of the arena. No, I forgot my salve. The man, a sudden calm washes over him. Oh, wait, there was a merchant back in the vestibule. What an emotional ride this man's life must be. We need the money. The kids have to eat, the woman says to herself, seeming ready to put her life on the line to win. The man eagerly awaits his turn in the ring. My quarrel is not with humans, he says gravely. You take that to mean he'll only be fine. What's a runt like you come to the arena for? His blood clearly boiling. Levia's fists raised and eyes locked. You can see they'll come to blows any second now. You reckon Levia's no match for his opponent and decide to intervene on his behalf. You call out, and the warrior throws a flurry of fists your way. Thankfully, you anticipated this would happen and managed to dodge them cleanly. You punch like you've never punched before. Enough, Gladio barks by way of intervention. Despite picking the fight in the first, by all accounts, Levia, you snap out of your thoughts when he tells Levia to show you to the inn, as if to suggest everyone could use a rest after that fight, and takes his leave. Watch yourself. Folks around here will use any excuse to start a fight, the woman warns you. You can't help but notice the glint of a knife in her belt. Apparently, battles with captured monsters in the arena. There is one ferocious beast, she explains, that has vanquished every warrior to have challenged it. The man stands stock still, silently praying over those whose lives were lost in the arena this day. You stepped on my foot, the man says. You apologize profusely, hoping to avoid any trouble. Aw, we were supposed to duke it out. I'm gonna apprentice with the attendant, the man boasts. He drops to the ground, and manages a mere 5 push-ups before the woman's eyes dart between you as she scribbles something in her notebook. She who controls the information controls the fight, she says, before asking how powerful you are. To hear this man tell it, the last maiden was a proper hero of war. Compared to her, well, he trails off as a heavy sigh of disapproval forces its way out of. You arrive at the inn, eager to rest. You speak of the current state. Livia hears your tale in full. He pauses for a moment, lost in thought. I'm not the maiden, he confesses rather abruptly. Lack helpfully explains that since Livia is not an official maiden, his relic is no more than an ordinary weapon. And therefore, he explains that while it's true he was born into a long line of maidens, he has not been that his mother, the previous maiden, fell in battle. And he is simply Livia, his confession. Clearly, the maiden's circumstances are as varied as the islands on which they live. Laddie sits in the chair, head bobbing in a desperate, if futile, struggle against sleep. She's no doubt Lack floats in the air. Its mouth. You lift your hands close to its ear. Explosions! Help! We're all good. Everyone is plainly spent from a day of fighting. The time has come for rest. Enter the maiden's match with me, Livia blurts out nonsensically, barreling into your room. Livia says he simply wants to win the tournament and gaze smugly at all the people who've called him weak over the... It's a special tournament, and it starts soon. A fitting festival for the might-obsessed hero's dominion, you think. But will they act? You think back on how the citizens of the dominion... How hard he works at a dangerous... All right, it's a deal, you say. When does it? You begin? But Livia cuts you off with an excited... Tomorrow. The sun is dazzling on this. Let's get to reception quick, Livia chirps as he joins you en route to the arena. Here to pick up a few scars, the man behind. Participants register in pairs, taking on the roles of maiden and attendant as they fight. Once you're registered, you can go wait in the vestibule, the man explains, gesturing at the far door. What do you think you're doing? The crimson attendants. Let's go, Lavia says as he runs through the door, perhaps presuming that immature brat, Gladio sighs. Even so, you detect a note of worry rather than fury in his voice. We'll show 'em all, Lavia shouts, psyching himself up for the fight. The ringleader's voice echoes off the stone walls of the lobby. Onward, to battle. Laddie seems to be in good spirits. You know we're going to fight, don't you? Clearly, she misunderstood what kind of tournament this was. All right. Magnificent. Good work. Laddie can hardly contain her excitement at having won. You can tell because Lavia wipes the sweat from his brow as you approach. "Don't sneak up on me like that," he snaps, with no small amount of embarrassment. Ah, youth. Awkward youth. Okay. Excellent. If we win this next fight, that's it. Let's wipe those smug looks off everyone's faces. You say by way of the ringleader announces the final battle. There's no turning back now. Buckle up, Buttercup. Lack shouts for some reason at Laddie, who is drained from the consecutive battles. Who else should be waiting for you in the final round but the Crimson, despite this being a team event? He's back. Do your worst, he bellowed. Don't need to tell me twice, Lavia barks back. Gripping. Oh, this fight won't be anything like... Magnificent. The powerful attendant bears down with all his might, but Lavia holds. As the pair struggle, a section of the arena wall suddenly blows apart. A familiar beast emerges from the dust and the rubble. Whipped into a frenzy, the beast whirls a hammer over its head and charges you. It has been a brutal struggle. Time for our special attack. The Crimson Maiden and his attendant bellow in unison. The Crimson Maiden and his stalwart attendants attack. Gladio at last acknowledges the strength hidden within Levia. Use that strength to fulfill your destiny, Gladio says with the air of a proud father seeing his own son off on an adventure. Levia prepares to address the raucous crowd. He places a hand to his chest. He tells of his history with Gladio. Gladio taught him the true meaning of strength, so he could one day fulfill the maiden's destiny. And now that his strength has been universally recognized, Levia is in fact a woman, and thus the rightful successor to the Crimson Maiden. I, Levia, swear to protect that she raises her relic to the sky. Levia, the Crimson Maiden by her small frame shows no sign of buckling under the immense responsibility that is now up. Levia is mobbed by a heaving crowd of admirers, seeing as they're bound to keep her busy for some time, and surmising that there will be other opportunities to borrow the relic, you decide to depart Hero's Dominion. You bid the Dominion farewell as the sun dyes the sky a deep red. The voice belongs to none other than the Crimson Maiden herself. She approaches you, serene and calm as can be, acknowledging your friendship forged in the crucible on the condition that should she become a maiden, Laddie must visit the Dominion and return the relic. Levia gives a hearty wave as you push on. Why would the Crimson Maiden, whose biggest wish has just come true? No, no, no. Her face must be catching the light of the setting sun. Yes, that's why her eyes look so red. Laddie gazes out at the horizon from the Crimson Maiden became a maiden in the end. Laddie takes out her book and scribbles something inside. Apparently, Laddie's mother was the previous. Her proposal is as big as her. You nod firmly and cut the rudder in the direction of Omega Isle. Lack claps you on the shoulder, saying, "You could do with a rest here and there yourself." It then starts to chant some kind of spell. It explains that your ship can now travel to any island you've already visited on its own. You've never seen Lack look so smug with itself, and that's saying something. You find yourselves back in her grip on the Crimson Maiden's. Laddie sets foot in the village, not even bothering to have Lack transform her face with its shape-shifting magic. "So, you've returned," a woman says. The woman heads out of view towards the center of town. You know that Laddie, for her part, wants to become a maiden so she can protect these people. You just hope you can get that message through to them. You begin introducing Laddie, only to be rudely interrupted. "I'm busy," the old man snaps. You begin introducing Laddie, but the boy, the frankly heartless reception Laddie receives. Whatever happened here? You all decide it's best to leave the villagers alone for the time being, and instead search for her mother's personal effects. Laddie leads you to her home, which you always considered yourself close with Greed. You open the door to a complete. Laddie enters what is ostensibly her home, with the soft, suspicious movements of a thief. You step into Greeth's room. Sunbeam. You all search for her mother's effects. Laddie tugs insistently at your sleeve. You turn to her. She holds in her hands a weathered book. This is it. You both might finally learn something definitive. "What are you doing here?" You insist that you can explain, if he'd just give you a chance. He roars, clearly not with tears forming in her eyes at the sudden. You give chase, not sparing a single moment to contemplate what could possibly cause someone as kind as Greeth to become such a monster. Thus far, you have woven a tale of adventure. According to your navigation map, there ought to be. You've likely grown quite accustomed to seafaring, but be wary. One never knows what might happen out on the high seas. Show 'em what you got. Ouch. And fight. Magnificent. Magnificent. two fight as one. Ahoy, matey! Excellent. You spot something blown into the sky from a whale's spout. It looks like it might fall this way, but it's hard to make out with the sun behind it. You hurriedly draw your sword and strike the falling object. It appears what you struck may have been some item or gear that could have helped you on your journey. It hits the sea with a plunk and sinks beneath the waves. Ah, the great open sea. And fight. After a long voyage, on the North Isle, you will hear the tale of a maiden in white. Very well then, prepare to go ashore. The North Isle is home to a range of majestic snow-capped peaks, the grandeur of which serves as a constant reminder to the residents of just how small they are. Having grown accustomed to Lack, meanwhile, continues to looks like Lack won't be needing dinner tonight, you muse to yourself as you from the wharf extends a well-maintained road, which no doubt leads to civilization. And fight. Magnificent. You are greeted by sublime white as you attempt to pass through them and enter the city. Someone garbed entirely in white rushes. You cannot see their face for the white mask covering it. But the fact that they have a weapon in hand makes Black, who has fallen to the ground from the impact. Out of my way, the soldier shouts, their voice muffled by the mask, before charging at you. Apparently, they want to fight. You parry the soldier's sword, then watch as they flee to the west. Crystal clear water runs through canals in the white-wreathed city. Welcome to Alabaster City, the soldier at the gate greets, though his eyes don't even glance your way. You suppose, as you look around, you see soldiers gather. Despite that, the other residents carry on with their daily lives as if Alabaster City seems intolerant of impurity. It makes you wonder if its history is as spotless as its appearance. Welcome to Alabaster City, the soldier bellows in unison with their colleague to the right of the city gates. Welcome to Alabaster City, the soldier bellows in unison with their colleague to the left of the city. The soldier sternly surveys the people walking up and down the street, periodically pausing to write something down on a piece of paper. The city is safe, thanks to the maiden and the soldiers, the girl exclaims. She seems to have not a care in all the world. Do your part to keep Alabaster City clean. The soldier holds out a bag, hoping to collect the refuse of passers-by. What a thankless task protecting Alabaster's. If I shop here, I'll have to shop next door as well, the woman mutters to herself. It would only be fair, she says, trying on one of the necklaces. If anything bad happens, the maiden and the soldiers handle it, the boy says, though clearly bored with the peaceful city. This area is off limits, the soldier says, stopping you in your tracks. Among the townsfolk peacefully going about their day, you see two. It's all your fault, one woman shouts at the other, whose eyes run with tears. They appear to be fighting. No fighting, Lack exclaims in a rare bout of righteous. Get out of my sight, you weird. Lack is shocked. She may be. The self-assured woman is Lanka, the ivory maiden and keeper of the island's destiny. The woman being berated is Krim, the ivory maiden's attendant. The women explain that they were entrusted with killing. Lanka claims that the deserter escaped. Lanka gives your group a long, appraising look before. Consider this a great honor, she continues, then orders you to help her in the search. You had wanted to ask her about her maiden's relic, but now it seems you have no choice but to obey her command. You wonder if the masked soldier you saw earlier, could you inform her that the soldier fled according to the maiden and her attendant? A woodland known as the Mystic Forest lies in that direction. You come across an open-air stall. A sign reads, "Goods bought here." As you peer into, but this determines the price, she continues, revealing the die in her hand. It seems she's finished buying for the day. The proprietress begins closing up shop, and you go on your way. Ahead of you on the path, it looks as though she's twisted her ankle. She looks up at you and asks, "Don't suppose..." You draw some salve from your pack and give it to the woman. She gulps it down in one go. "Medicine, am I right? It's the one thing. This is all I have, but it's yours." She hands you a small token of her appreciation. She explains that they were given to her as a soup. You put the sack of sea grapes into your pack and continue on your journey. From out of nowhere, a sweet fragrance wafts. There's a reasonably sized stone at your feet, a precise pitch at the tree's bough. You take the stone in hand and wind up. Your pitch strikes true, releasing a hail of fruit. You divide up and enjoy the spoils. The mystic forest is a dense wood. Travelers who have ventured through the closely packed, upon entering the sprawling forest, when you ask her what she's worried about, she explains that there are rumors of "That's just superstition," Lanka says condescendingly. A somnolent tree looks in your direction. "If you wish to go further, heed our voice." Lanka, who had claimed talking trees, thinking at the attendant's chance to lord this over the maiden. But Krim, in her surprise, the tree continues to speak, unbothered by your party. Healthy trees are rooted in honesty. Frail trees in falsehood, it says. You wonder if the tree's enigmatic words are some sort of hint to get through the forest. Show 'em what you got. The tree suddenly begins speaking to you. You feel an energetic aura bursting forth from the talking tree. The tree suddenly begins speaking to you. The tree speaks in a weak voice, as if it might fall over at any second. As you walk through the tall grass, you hear a lively voice behind you shout, "Good luck!" And fight! Magnificent. Magnificent. After doing as the sprite, it seems that the tree near the entrance spoke true. If you lose your way up ahead, perhaps you should listen to what the other trees have to say. The ivory attendant complains as you make your each time. Laddie pats the crestfallen Crim on the head. You hope to pacify Lanka, but rather than being soothed, she explains that in Alabaster City, maiden and it appears each island's maiden and attendant have a unique relationship. The tree suddenly begins speaking to you. The tree enthusiastically teaches you the way. You hear the whispers of a small tree's voice in your ears. The voice is frail and followed by a sigh. It sounds like the tree suddenly begins speaking to you. The tree directs you one way in a frail voice. As you walk through the tall grass, you hear a lively voice shout from behind. Yes, that's right. The tree suddenly begins speaking to you. The words sound as if they're being wrung out from the tree itself. You wonder if you can take them at face value. Fight 'em off. As you walk through the tall grass, you hear seeing you distracted by the voice. Nearby monsters take the chance to launch a surprise attack. After defeating the monsters, you pause to catch your breath. Suddenly, your surroundings start to distort. When the warping finally it appears you took a wrong turn somewhere and must find your way anew. Magnificent. A somnolent tree. A somnolent tree looks in your direction. As you walk through the tall grass, you hear a weak voice calling to you from behind. Fools, it says. Hope you win. Don't hold back. and fight. The tree suddenly begins speaking to you. The tree trembles in its frailty. You wonder if it fears humans. Don't hold back. Teamwork makes the dream work. Told you, didn't I? The tree says triumphantly. The tree suddenly begins speaking to you. The tree's voice trembles in fear. You wonder what would happen if you did wake up the slumbering tree. And fight.